Yo, 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 what's up? Okay, so I came out here to Santa Monica with one thing in mind, and that is to be productive one way or the other. And, but in particular, I'm talking about creating content here, making the video. I'm not sure I'm going to post it. I would like to post it on Instagram, but the length is probably not that long. Like the duration of the videos is probably limited for Instagram, compared to YouTube, and YouTube shadow bans and all that stuff. But it's probably content takes a long time for YouTube is not easy. You can't create things and expect to grow overnight. So that's one thing that you have to pretty much know and actually understand it if you want to start creating content. And I'm still kind of caught in the middle when it comes to knowing exactly what kind of content I would like to create. I have a funny side to me, and I have a very serious side to me. Very I've been through a lot in life. And personally, I mean, I believe a lot of us have, and I feel like a lot of us are going through a lot. The world is going through a lot, right? But yeah, I can't act like I don't have that part of me that's frustrated with life, and yeah, that's serious. I actually do have a very serious side to me, and I came out here to the fucking to the beach. I have my issues, my mental issues. I personally, I'm gonna talk about and be honest right here with one off the bat that I recently just observed that I'm right here in the beach in the sand, and I looked at this. They have these what are these? I think they're lifesavers, right? They have these little booths out here in the beach in Santa Monica and probably every other beach, right? These little booths, or these little small little cabin thingies, or whatever the fuck you call them. And basically people that work here and they look out to see what's going on. And one of my issues is I get fucking annoyed when I feel like people are watching me. It's like some sort of a mental blockage that or weakness, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But if I'm gonna be fucking completely honest, it's like it gets on my nerves. It's like, is this motherfucker watching me right now? Like, what the fuck you watching me for? Mind your fucking business. It's like, it's that annoying to me. But it's just doing his job at the end, right? It's a lifesaver, one of those fucking beach workers, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? But yeah, pretty much I came out here, I'm trying to focus on not blowing this video, or not blowing today by not uploading a video. So I'm gonna stay focused and make a video in spite of these little nosy, stupid motherfuckers who seem to think that you're up to something. It's just annoying. That's why I don't like people that much, because they're always watching you, observing you. They don't fucking let you just mind your business and focus on what you want to do. For me, it's like, girl, what, don't you have something to do or something? And that's the thing about it. But at the end of the day, they can all fuck off, right? And anyways, I'm here being authentic. I don't really, I'm not here to hold back or care about how things sound, if it sounds negative or all this stuff. The whole thing is to be authentic. I don't consider myself to be a negative person. Maybe I am, though. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm negative and I'm positive as well. Like I'm a fighter. I try my best, but if I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't been doing well in my own fight in life for the past few years, right? Sometimes get in my own head and think I'm on a downward spiral or whatever. But I always manage to get back up, you know, manage to get back up and do the things that I love that keep me afloat, that keep me focused, But as I said, I've been through so much in life and I'm sure a lot of you guys have. And you get to a point, you just start to feel tired of it all. And you're like, man, what the hell? Fuck all this nonsense. And that's part of the reason why people commit suicide, or they just become, uh, like zombies in life, right? Become zombies in life. And I don't really blame you. I mean, if you're gonna be honest about shit, life is a hard thing, right? And it's not the same for everybody. Some people are dealt certain cards. Some people, go through certain experiences that are fucking tough and, destroy you. And, people are not going to care about you or your experience in life. And they can feel like a very lonely, experience in life because you probably have experiences that with people in general that just made you feel like you can't trust people. So now you're all by yourself. And now when you start to be by yourself a lot, not only are you just kind of alone, now it's like you're literally against the world. You start getting these thoughts like, it's just me against the world, or people are out to get you in a sense, Uh, I don't know if anybody could relate to that, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys could, but I'm saying like right now, if anybody who's watching this can relate to this, and I hope so, right? Because at the end, you'll know that you're not alone, at least in that sense. I don't know your situation and what you might be fighting through. You could be in conditions that are, like seem like literal hell on earth. And you could be in an abusive household. You could be somebody who's not allowed to have their own voice, their own opinion. And, you feel that heavy feeling on your heart. And, you might be living in a place to where it's religious, supposedly, right? Like, it's religious. You guys believe in all this stuff, right? You have this religious background and all that, but at the same time, it's not like these people uplift your spirit. They just believe the stuff, and then you're supposed to believe it as well. And then, it's actually used as a weapon against you. It's used to keep you in line, to keep obeying your parents or obeying you're living in this house. I'm just creating a picture that these things actually are real. And this is like hell. This is like hell, man. So for me, all I can do is, if it is possible to send energy to you, hopeful and power and strength and, you know, some sort of energy that sets you free, you know, then I would do that. And that's basically what I am doing here. But it's not magical, right? Like what I'm doing is speaking through this device here, and I'm giving you some words that might give you a temporary boost, man. But for me, I don't care, man. I'm a believer, and I really hope that what I'm telling you can spark something inside of you, can get, a ball rolling, and then that ball never stops fucking rolling. That fucking ball never stops rolling because I activated something inside of you, some sort of fire, some spirit that just is now on a roll, man. Now on a roll. All right, I'll just leave it there. Okay, make some more videos after this, but no, actually, no, I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna put a lot into this video. Probably stop around 25 minutes or something. Yeah, with all that aside, look, the thing we could relate to in society is, and I'm speaking from my own bubble, from what I see, from the reality that I breathe, right? But if you breathe a similar reality, then the algorithm just might speak to you as well. The algorithm just might bring you here, right? But yeah, I wanted to talk about society right now. It's obviously jacked up. Here in Los Angeles is where I'm at. And society is everywhere you go. I catch the public transport, the train and my scooter, right? So I scooter and train. That's like all I do almost all the time. And it feels like being trapped in this loop. You just never really go anywhere, you know. even even though I do have fucking the power to go further away from where I'm used to going, I just never do it. I just seem to stay in my own little bubble, and I don't know why. But I don't want to, I'm trying not to make it too much about me, and I'm trying not to make it a problem, like too big of a problem, right, in my mind. But what do I see in LA public transport? Well, I see a lot of troubled people that seem to all be in their own bubble, for one, their own phones. And then you see the little, menace to society, groups of youngsters, roaming around, maybe looking for some problems, or, just drinking, or just being degenerates. And if I'm going to be honest, I could relate to that in a sense. The only difference is that I'm by myself. So, I do bad things like what? Drink. That's one of my vices there. So I'm like on fumes as well. Stuff like that, So I can relate to the whole fume stuff. The whole experience of barely fucking existing on fumes. I don't want to fucking talk to nobody. I'm sorry, but I just saw somebody walking towards me in the fucking, Santa Monica. Like, I'm in the middle of this beach right now, in the sand, and I don't want to be approached by nobody. Leave me the fuck alone. Stay the fuck in your own bubble. Got no time for bullshit right now. Can't trust nobody out here. Bunch of fucking broken souls, right? And I'm not shitting on them, because obviously I consider myself to be very similar, right? But I don't know how strong they're fighting, or all that stuff compared to me, right? But anyways, I see the degenerates, and then you see the homeless people, And look, let me tell you something, man. I'm homeless. I'm in a shelter at the moment, and I've been there for like a year, and almost going on 2 years. Just been burnt out and just getting my energy back. Still struggling. If I was to just, stay locked in and not start drinking, and work out and every day consistently, then I'd probably be at a better place. But that's not the case. But yeah, so that's what I see in Los Angeles. Degenerates, people that look like me, but some people that, they don't seem to have the ability to hold it inside themselves. And, they just, wherever they go, they're just spewing out this fucking toxic energy all over the place. And You go into one place to get some food, fast food or some shit, whatever the hell is available, and then you come across one of these people just spewing this toxic energy. Some people talking to themselves and just making you nervous, and you know just all this crazy shit, man. Just crazy shit. And it's just, it gets old, man. It gets so fucking old. And here I am complaining, acting like I can't fucking find a way. Sometimes I feel like I can't find a way. Like I can't. Like I don't have the intelligence or the fighter enough spirit to just, get the fuck out of here, right? Like people haven't done that shit before, right? I mean, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to lie? Right? The fuck? I don't want to do shit. I do, but I don't. It's like I'm this fucking rat just running on one of those fucking hamsters on those hamster wheels and shit. And how many people could relate to that? I wouldn't be surprised if there are many. And to think that there are people out here who are unconscious and who are comfortable, perhaps, with it and not upset with how they're living their lives, and they are just going along with everything. That's fucking crazy to me. World we live in, and all the look, I believe in spiritual stuff, spiritual to an extent, right? I only say extent because I'm trying to be as real as I could with myself. I don't, how many times do we see people on the internet, online, on Instagram, fucking putting their little, their fucking zodiac sign on there, right? And here's a difference with me. I like astrology as well. I dive a hell of a lot deeper than most people, but still I'm not professional astrologer level. And see, I have the ability to at least understand that shit, but come on, like you can't, excuse me if I'm all over the place, but it's all connected what I'm saying, right? Just the hypocrisy of people and the ignorance, the stupidity. It's all there, right? People, for me, look, as an example, when it comes to the astrology signs, they think they're just one sign. But astrology, obviously, there's charts and then there's different systems of astrology. And people don't even fucking take the time to look at that. They just really hold on to some one sign. And then look, for me, that's how I observe that, and I think it's stupid. But somebody else could look at me and think I'm completely stupid just for entertaining astrology in general, no matter how deep I may go into it compared to most, right? But for me, I think people that think that are actually quite dismissive and ignorant themselves, right? Because you haven't even looked into it that deep to come to a conclusion for real like that, Somebody could probably think that, look, I'm not going to go into that, okay? I'm not going all the way into that, but it's crazy. Anyways, point is, look, the world, the society's like this. You see all this nonsense everywhere you go. And then, we got this other stuff with the whole Epstein files and people, fucking going nuts over that shit. And that's all over the place. And then you got, what else? You got fucking the wars being started. War in Iran and all that shit. Shit's all fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how do you even keep some sort of optimism? Is it even meant to? Are you even meant to? Just questions. But probably pointless anyway. For me personally, look, I'm at the point where I have no choice but to pretty much tap into my inner warrior. In astrology, what am I? The astrology I believe in, Vedic astrology. What am I? I'm an Aries ascendant, not an Aries, just an Aries. Like when everybody says they're a sign, they're talking about their sun sign, but they don't know that a sun sign is only a small aspect of yourself compared to everything else. So there's that thing, right? But look, I have to choose what to believe in and stick to it instead of being so scattered all over the place in my mind, not really knowing who the fuck I am, right? And where the fuck I want to go. Even if I'm wrong, I'm going to say I'm fucking Aries ascendant. And that's what dictates every other sign's placement in this house. Anyways, it's going to sound crazy, but whatever. Look, man. So my point is this. The reason why I love Aries is because it's ruled by Mars. And Mars is supposed to be a fighter, right? It's supposed to be like a soldier, right? So my life, I have no choice but to be that, or else I'm gonna fucking die. And that's the thing. People can't relate to that shit. They'll never be able to relate to that shit. Well, they probably will, but most people, I don't think they can. And look, I'm not out here looking for people who can relate to that shit. It's not my job to do that. It's my job to be that shit. And that's it. Be that shit. And if motherfuckers come along that are the same and we somehow click and all this shit, whatever. But for me personally, I'm going this shit alone anyway. So I have no choice but to really tap into my ultimate warrior energy to survive out here instead of fucking going downhill, living this miserable life where, just imagine an Aries who doesn't fight. Now that's fucking sad. It's the most pathetic, miserable life ever. So here I am, and I'm choosing this. Tap into the warrior. I like to call it warrior maxing. Nowadays, it's a bunch of content creation. People start talking about different maxing this, Lex maxing this, all these different maxing level shits, right? Well, my shit's gonna be warrior maxing. That's what the fuck it's gonna be. Making that decision to not allow life to swallow you. Making that decision that you're going to fucking fight to the death, to the end of it, even if it means being by yourself, completely by yourself. You would fucking prioritize just winning in your own fucking life, surviving and thriving, becoming to the fucking top. You fucking prioritize that shit over some sort of validation, acceptance, and fitting in with a dying society wants to fucking be degenerate all the time. People who don't even fucking fight. They drink, wake up, drink again. And look, at least I fucking drink and then I wake up and work out or some shit. Try to fight that shit, that degenerate shit. But look, even if you are that person who drinks and wakes up and drinks and or whatever the fuck you do, I want you to overcome that shit. That's what I want you to do, all right? I don't look at you as any less just because you don't fucking, because right now you're treating yourself like that, right? Because I know you still have it in you. As long as you're alive, you can do it. You can rise back up out of anything, So that's what I want you to understand. I want you to understand that shit, right? That I believe in you, man. And especially for men. Look, especially for men. We have all this. For me personally, my algorithm, I used to watch red pill content. Now it's all over my algorithm all the fucking time. So I can't help it. Sometimes find myself in that loop again quite often. But, you got all this shit about women and all this bullshit. And, it's not women that are really the enemy in my opinion. They're just brainwashed. That's it. Brainwashed. It was all, in my opinion, it's all done by design. It was all by design. That's my opinion, for real. That's for real for me. So my thing is, I can't hate people like that, but at the same time, I can't help it if someone might hate me for believing this or believing that or being this or being that. You know, I can't help it. That's a reality. And if it ever came down to it and, you know, bitches came out here with bazookas and trying to kill and murder me or some shit, then I would fucking kill them. I'll chop their fucking heads off. And that's the thing. But alright. Peace.